Hey there, folks. Welcome to yesterday's news for August 16th, 2018. Today, I wanted to talk about the ongoing saga of Trump and the media and the enemies of the people. First, I want to give credit for the thumbnail to Owen Benjamin. I don't know where he got the original picture, but I copied that off his Instagram, and I think it demonstrates what I'm going to talk about pretty well. So, Trump has obviously gotten backlash from the media for calling them the enemies of the people, and and they're shouting about, oh no, free press is the most important thing, which free press is important. But first of all, nothing he's saying is actually censoring the press. He's just pointing out that they're not exactly doing their job in good faith, which is true. So, is the press the enemy of the people? No, not as a class, not as a rule, not by their nature. But right now in America, the mainstream news media and academia and the entertainment industry, and to a lesser extent the tech industry as well, are all heavily dominated by a group of people who hold a socio-political philosophy that is not compatible with the beliefs of the rest of the country. And so, is a press that is, officially free, and not censored by the government in any way, yet does not represent the truth or the interests of the people, isn't doing the job of a free press, and is doing a disservice to the people, because at the end of the day, they've become a propaganda machine, not for a government that's in power, but for an ideology and for a class of people who want themselves to be at the top of the social hierarchy. If you don't believe me, just pay attention to them a little bit. They get very upset. They're more upset with the fact that Donald Trump is socially unsophisticated than they are with any of his policies. He's done a lot of things that the left has been, railing against the Republicans. How could you do that? And he's done what the left has wanted for years. And, things that I agree with, a lot of them. And what they still hate him, though. Why? Because it's not that they don't hate him on ideological grounds. They hate him on aesthetic grounds. He's not part of the club. He's not one of the sophisticated people. He's a blue-collar guy. He's obviously not actually a blue-collar guy, but he's culturally, socially, behaviorally, linguistically a blue-collar guy, and they don't like that. So here's the thing. The radical left is the enemy of the people. You might call it the regressive left if you're Dave Rubin. I would call it the party, because I think it's not just leftism. I think there are roots to authoritarianism that go deeper into the human soul than big government ideology. But and if you're interested in a good description of what that looks like, I begrudgingly suggest you read 1984, particularly when it gets into the part where, anyways, I don't want to give away the story, but either that book or also That Hideous Strength by C.S. Lewis also gives a good narrative description of what it is that is in fact the enemy of the people, and it's the, for lack of a better word, the spiritual force behind the radical left, and it was behind Nazism and communism. Not that those were particularly radically different. they were really the same ideology repackaged. And again, we're seeing the same thing again with these Antifa people. It's the same ideology as the Marxists, Leninists, and the fascists and the Nazis. It's just repackaged, and the labels are changed again, which is the same thing, which is all the Nazis did to become anti-communist. They took the same ideas and just repackaged them and changed the labels around, which is, again, what Antifa and the radical left today is doing with the Nazis, is they're taking the same exact ideology, switching the labels around and repackaging it and calling themselves anti-fascists, which is kind of silly. So as long as the media industry is dominated by people who hold this ideology, which is very destructive and itself opposed to a truly free press, they are the enemy of the people. Not because a free press is bad, a free press is good, but the press that we have is not acting like a free press. It's acting like a propaganda machine for I don't believe in a conspiracy of actual people like plotting to take over the world or anything like that, but there is a spirit of the ideology that is totalitarian, that is it's hard to describe. I could sit here for hours telling stories to try and describe what it is. If you go to my Facebook page, I think my last post up there is an attempt of mine to describe what I'm talking about. But it's a pattern of being, as Jordan Peterson would say. It's an ideology that is destructive and evil, and it is the enemy of the people. And as long as that has sway in the media and in politics, then whoever is under the influence of that ideology is the enemy of the people, no matter what their job title is, whether they're in the media or in government or in science or in industry. If they are following this totalitarian ideology, they are the enemy of the people, and they will be until they stop, until they stop following these ideas. And so, yeah, Trump is not opposed to a free press. He's opposed to the party, and the party controls the press right now, and it controls the mainstream media. People like me, I have 5 whole followers, 4 actually. One of those is me, because I subscribe to my own channel so I can make sure everything uploads properly. But there's the new media out there that are not dominated by the party, and so I don't see a problem with the old media dying or going away, because we have something to replace it with that is not under the influence of a horrible, evil ideology. So, but yeah, don't worry. Trump's not going to get rid of the free press. I think he likes the free press, like anybody should. But that doesn't mean that everybody who claims to be part of the free press is actually living that role. So with that, I hope you enjoyed it. Like, share, subscribe, and I will see you again tomorrow.